Opo, sa asub na po.
Ay, yung lupa, hindi.
Hindi pa ho na-auction yon kasi nga po, hindi pa ho ako sinagot ng lawyer nila noon. Kung magkano ho talagang halaga ng lupa para, kasi po, baka po ako ma-overlevy. Kaya hindi ko pa ho ino-auction. Saka, ano po, meron pong affidavit.
Bakit mo hindi tinasahan ang presyo nung ipinagbili mo na aksyon, nung shares of stock? Hindi mo binirepay ka, tinanong, pinag-aralan. Yung tunay na presyo nung pinagbili na shares of stock.
Hindi ko na ho napag-aralan po yan kasi po nung...
Bakit?
Nung nag-bid po si Carla Castillo ng 28,000, tapos wala naman pong objection si Mrs. Corona.
Ay, oo nga, pero...
All the while, kaya
pero ikaw ang sheriff, para isatisfy mo yung 500,000 na judgment. Hindi ba dapat pinag-aralan mo, ito ba talaga ang tunay na presyo nitong shares of stock na ito? Bakit hindi mo ginawa yun?
Kasi po, ang pagkakaintindi ko ng panahon yun, ang pagkakaintindi ko po, dahil Assistant Corporate Secretary po si Mrs. Corona, siya nung nakakaalam kung ng presyo po talaga. Kaya po, nung nag-bid ng 28,000...
Assistant mo, hindi mo...
Assistant Corporate Secretary po, si Mrs. Corona.
Oo nga, pero ikaw ang inatasan ng gobyerno na humanap ng lupa o ari-arian o pamasatisfy yung judgment. Bakit hindi mo pinag-aralan kung yung presyo na in-offer nung nag-bid na kaisa-isa? At puro Castillo, ang pangalan ba nung bumili? Castillo?
Carla Castillo po.
Carla Castillo ay tama dun sa presyo nung shares of stock.
Yung nga po,
Hindi mo ginawa yun, ano?
Hindi po.
Ang pinaniwalaan mo na lang ay si Mrs. Corona.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ha? Kung ano yung presyo na sinabi ni Mrs. Corona, yun ang pinaniwalaan mo.
Yes, Your Honor. Dahil mukhang po niya, Assistant Corporate Secretary, kaya niniwala po ako na.
Ganun, ha? Sige, salamat.
Apo.
May I,
The gentleman from Iloilo.
liwanagin ko lang po dahil marami ng sagot, hindi ko na masyadong nasusundan. Yung 28,000 po, yun po ang binayad ng Carla Corona Castillo na anak ni Chief Justice Corona. Tama po ba yan?
Opo, pero at that time po, Carla Castillo na po ang binigyan nila pa.
Carla Castillo. Okay, Carla Castillo. Ito po ba'y cheque o cash?
Pagkakalam ko, cash po dahil habang ginagawa ko po yung resibo nung...
Cash.
Kasi may inabot ako si Carla Castillo kay Mrs. Corona po.
So yung cash na 28,000 ibinigay sa inyo ni Carla Corona Castillo at itong 28,000 ay ibinigay mo kay Cristina Corona, yung nanay ni Carla Corona Castillo.
Hindi po, hindi na ako idinasa sa akin. Silang dalawa na lang ako nag-uusap. Magkatabi ho
Silang dalawa na lang nag-usap.
Magkatabi ho sila
Bilang anak at saka nanay, sila na nag-usap. Hindi na po kayo sumali.
At that time po, hindi ko talaga honest. Hindi ko
Pero
alam
parang usapang pamilya na lang.
Hindi ko po alam yung relationship nila that time.
Okay. At yan po ay may I direct this question now to Attorney Roy. Those 4,839 shares constituted 90% more or less of the corporation.
To my understanding, Your Honor, yes, that is correct.
And the sale took place when? 2003, auction sale?
The auction sale, Your Honor, as for the records, will show September 30 of 2003.
September 30 of 2003. 4,839 shares, which is almost 90% of the corporation.
97% of the
97. Sorry, sir. 97. 90.7, which is 90.7% of the corporation, was sold for 28,000 to Carla Corona Castillo.
That is my understanding, Your Honor.
And as of June 5, 2001, the corporation had in its coffers at least 34,703,800 pesos, which is the proceeds of the sale of the Basa Guidote property to the city of Manila. Is that correct?
That appears to be the evidence on record, Your Honor.
Yes, so that the corporation was purchased by the daughter of Cristina Corona for 28,000 when Cristina Corona, as Assistant Corporate Secretary, knew at the time that there was at least 34,703,000 pesos in the checking account or in the bank account of Basa Guidote.
Not to quibble, Your Honor, but yes, it appears that way.
You don't have to quibble, because those are the facts. Now, where are the shares now?
Well, Your Honor, if you're asking, are you asking about the certificates?
No, the certificates of stock. The certificates of stock. In whose name is it now?
I have not seen them, Your Honor. I do know, I think I can tell you candidly that the stock and transfer book cannot be located at this time.
All right. Mr. Sheriff, nung binenta na po ito, ikaw ay gumawa ng, anong tawag doon? Certificate of sale.
Certificate of sale po,
Ha?
Your Honor. Opo.
Certificate of sale.
Opo.
At ang ano po nakalagay sa certificate of sale? Na ang 4,839 na shares ay nasa pangalan na ng Cristina, ng Carla Corona Castillo.
Carla Castillo po.
Ha?
Carla Castillo po.
Carla.
With the permission of the gentleman from Iloilo, paano mo nalaman na yung binibenta mo na shares of stock sang-ayon sa writ of execution ay talagang nasa pangalan nung Jose Basa na pinagbabayad ng 500,000 pesos? Kung wala, sinasabi ng abogado, the stock and transfer book was not available. Paano mo nalaman kung sino mga stockholder at kung magkano ang shares of stock ang bawat isa sa kanila?
Dahil doon sa sulat ni Mrs. Corona sa akin.
Yun, sinabi lang sa iyo ni Mrs. Corona.
Opo, through letter na ano.
Kaya nga,
Submitted.
ang source of information mo ng may-ari nung shares of stock na ibinebenta mo, si Jose Basa Corona, ay si Mrs. Cristina Corona.
Corporate Secretary.
Di ba?
Opo.
Anong basihan niya? Alam mo ba?
Hindi ko po alam eh.
Wala na sinabi ng abogado, admission against interest. Walang stock and transfer book.
Wala naman po sinabi. Wala akong nabanggit.
Kaya nga. Oh. Yes.
Your Honor, if I may, I think the sheriff testified, perhaps he was unable to connect the facts, that she was also the assistant corporate secretary and Mrs. Corona, and would know the stock holdings, presumably should know.
How do you know that?
That was what the sheriff himself said, that she informed the sheriff that she was the assistant corporate secretary. And in fact, during the time that the execution was taking place, it would appear that she was the highest ranking officer in the country.
What about the estate proceeding that was pending? The rest or property of that estate proceeding are shares of stock in the name of Rosario.
Asuncion.
No. The mother. Rosario.
Yes.
Basa.
That's
Guidote.
right. Your Honor,
Rosario Guidote Basa.
if we must go into the probate proceedings, it can be established there that prior to the death of Rosario, those shares were transferred and eventually ended up with Jose Basa. That is actually what happened. Although the petition
before
itself, in the probate court, Your Honor, there is an audit report to that effect.
was that finished? Was that estate settled
Not yet,
prior to the sale?
No, Your Honor. And in fact, Mrs. Corona was named as the administratrix in that probate proceeding. So there is an overlap of litigation.
Anyway,
Yes.
anyway.
Your Honor,
You guys,
can we comment on that because that is very important and that is not true,
Yes.
Your Honor. As of now, until now, Your Honor, the settlement proceedings, the intestate, the testate proceeding is still pending, and it's still the claim of Cristina Corona as the special administratrix that the shares of stocks of Rosario Guidote Basa is still intact, Your Honor. In fact, we did not purposely went to the SEC cases because it will clutter the record. But in the two SEC cases involving the Basas, Your Honor, Cristina Corona is impugning the transfer of shares of stocks from Rosario Guidote Basa to other shares, and eventually when it ended to Mr. Jose Maria Basa. And yet, Your Honor, in this execution sale, she reported, allegedly as the Assistant Corporate Secretary, that it belongs to Jose Maria Basa. What we would like to point out, on record, Your Honor, is that Cristina Corona is assuming inconsistent statements whenever it suits her favor, Your Honor.
anyway,
Your Honor,
anyway.
please. It was Mr. Basa who claimed to be the owner of the shares. That's why they were levied on. If he did not claim them, they would not be levied on. Correct? She challenged them.
Yes, but compañero,
Yes, Your Honor.
you're a lawyer. I do not have to teach you that assets of an estate belong to the estate until they're vested by order of the court to the heirs.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the claim of the heir will not matter.
The Honor, Mr. Basa did not claim them as inheritance. But he claimed them ownership by acquisition, not inheritance, Your Honor.
Well,
that
then-
was the dispute.
All right, then it was a disputed claim.
That is right, Your Honor.
Okay? So, that would have been settled in the estate. Now, anyway, proceed.
Yes.
The court will take all of these things into consideration.
Ginoong testigo, ulitin ko lang, magkano exactly ang binayad po dito sa 4,839 shares? Sarado bang 28,000?
28,000 po pesos.